On a homebrew level, you can take your malt extract and add it to water to bring it back, to thin it out essentially. Or here, we make our own malt extract, but we don't bring it all the way down to the syrup status. We use it at the wort strength that we want to hit.
All right, you just learned how to boil down your wort. Now we're moving on to the wort byproduct, malt extract. After that, we'll talk about water and its role in creating a great beer.
So malt extract, essentially you've got your, you can brew with malt extract, or you can brew with actual barley as the raw ingredient. You take the barley, you crush it in the mill, you add the water at whatever temperature you want your enzymatic reaction to be at. That converts it to fermentable sugar. You then run it off and you've got diluted malt extract. If you were to boil that down to a syrup, that would be your malt extract. So on a homebrew level, you can take your malt extract and add it to water to bring it back, to thin it out essentially. Or here, we make our own malt extract, but we don't bring it all the way down to the syrup status. We use it at the wort strength that we want to hit. The reason we don't reduce it down to malt extract is because we are making a batch of beer with the barley that we converted into fermentable sugar. We don't need to concentrate it down. That's more of a to move on to for second-hand user, I guess, where they would bring it back up to whatever strength they want to make their beer at.
Malt extract is basically just wort concentrated. You can use vacuum boiling like a pressure cooker, or other places will use spray dried, where they use like a big tower and then spray it out so that it kind of instantaneously dries into that's what you can get, dry malt extract. We don't use any here because we're basically a wort making factory. There used to be breweries in the 1990s during the .com boom, and then there's probably some small brew pubs now still that operate called wort extract breweries, and they do use either liquid malt extract or dry malt extract to make their products, but you end up with less choice in the different kinds of beers that you can make. And yeah, it's just not something that we want to bother with. We want full range of choice, and it's a bit cheaper too. It takes more time, but it's what we do. Otherwise, it would just be mixing stuff together and then being decent at fermentation. You don't need to do the whole breadth and depth of the brewing process.
You want to treat it in a municipality like where we're at here in Torrance, where we're drawing from all the different water sources. We treat our water here. So we use carbon filtration, then we make reverse osmosis out of it, takes it down to 2 parts per million, and then we blend back in our city water with a TDS meter on our reverse osmosis unit, and we dial in how much of that mineral content from the source water minus the carbon filtration that it goes through. And we bring it back up to our water profile for our beers.